Hi YouTube! I've received many likes and comments in my previous video and I really appreciate them. What I found out from there, which many of you could be asking is, what support should I use with Alpha? In this video, I'm going to break it down for you so you get a general idea of what's good and why. Now if you like the content on my channel so far, do let me know by clicking on that subscribe button as an overwhelming number of you have not. Thank you in advance and let's get right into it.
Who do you use as a support for Alpha? Now in PGR, like many other games, it's based on a few aspects. Things like utility, game mechanics, favorable elements, the type of content, buffs and debuffs are just some of them. Obviously, this will not cover for every single situation as there might be unique situations or things that can change with the release of future patches. Now one of the examples would be Rosetta, right, the multiplayer boss of this Frozen Darkness event. She will be a playable character probably in around 9 months later, which will be a game changer. That's a little far ahead, so I'll be covering as much as I can for now. Also, I will not be including memory sets of supports as there's also quite a bit to unpack over there. So if y'all want that, let me know in the comment section down below so I can make another video for that. So here are the units in contention, and they are B and A Liv, B Nanami, A Kamui, and A Karenina. Here's how it's going to work. I will go through with y'all what they are used for, and you can mix and match what effects or aspects which best suits your needs. Starting with the simplest, A Karenina. Now there's a few comments asking why I used her in Warzone. That's mainly because of a QTE as she's able to suck enemies together. Now this can be very crucial in shaving off the timer, as a good group up can allow your sword wave to hit all the enemies and bringing you quickly to the very next wave. One thing to take note is, for characters like this, with an important utility to help with sword waves, you will want to put them in the blue slot. As you should in most situations, start off your sword waves with 3 pink blues, QTE, and then enter sword wave immediately. Now she also does attacks which allows certain memories to proc off it. Moving on to B Nanami. She is very useful for single target fights because of her defense down debuffs. Firstly is her 3 pink blue. It reduces defense of the enemy by a large amount, so starting off a boss fight with this debuff and straight away swapping to alpha and entering sword wave can create a huge burst window. There's also her 5-star weapon which has a 30% chance to armor break and further reducing defense. Her QTE also has a knockdown effect which acts as a CC. So you can see here she works better on single target fights as she does attacks and can proc certain memories, and you can also focus on debuffs on the enemy. Similarly, you'll want her on the blue spot. Next we have A Kamui. He does have a CC on his QTE and a defense down. However, this is only one hit and the number of defense down is much lower than Nanami. But it does not require you to use Kamui on the field. So it's like a simpler type of gameplay whereby you do not need to worry about too much swapping. One thing to take note is that you can also use both Nanami and Kamui to stack up their debuffs. If you are confident enough that you don't need a healer, this can be a good setup. There are some people who also use him to do DPS after Alpha Sword Wave, as he can do quite a good job at DPS too. But that's totally up to you if you want to build this meme lord up. On the 2 lives, healers are able to use certain memories which can increase their heal amounts and also give buffs to your team. Now given that the same resources are put into both of them, A Liv out heals B Liv. That is the main purpose of A Liv, as she's able to top up your HP if you are running modes that has HP as a score, especially stages that has a damage over time mechanic. Her heal is a heal over 6 seconds and has 6 pulses, so it might be harder to use for stages which requires a lot of dodging. Lastly on B Liv, most of you should already know that she holds the eventual spot as one of the main supports for physical teams. But that only happens when she is SSS rank. It opens up her most important passive of plus 10% physical damage when she is not on the field. Now that's a pretty decent passive buff for your physical teams, and of course QTing her into the field will allow her memories to proc. Her heal is much weaker as it scales off her total HP, but if you build her well, she can do better DPS than Alpha in multiple enemy fights. That's probably the only plus point. A tip to making your ultimate physical team is to farm interludes of B-Live for her shards. You can do this twice a day. That's basically the investment you have to put in as a free-to-play. You might be wondering, where's S-Live? Well, that's because her QTE only heals and gives a shield. And a heal is not as much as a built A-Live. Now, if you have fully built S-Live now and not worked on A-Live, then yeah, she can be used for that. However, eventually you will have to build A-Live as she's gonna be really good for lightning teams. Supports are really crucial in PGR and it can often be a stumbling block when it comes to passing stages or getting better scores. Therefore, having a good knowledge of supports can allow better choices when it comes to mix and matching for the content you are tackling. As a lot more emphasis is on faster clear speeds, I would say going full offense is high risk, but also potentially higher rewards. The key here is to make the most out of the teams for now, and as you progress, you will eventually have more resources to power up more and more constructs at your disposal.
That's all I have for you. Drop a like if you found this video useful so that more awesome people like you can find this video, and also consider clicking on that free subscribe button to get the updates of the latest videos. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Alpha supports, and I'll try my very best to answer every single one of you. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.